Hello, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm a NIKKEN independent consultant. And this is a product showcase that we have once a week live, and it's recorded on YouTube. And we have a team here of happy consultants that want to share about our experiences with technologies from NIKKEN. And it's not an official NIKKEN corporate presentation, but us trying to help new people learn more about what the amazing, unique, patented NIKKEN technologies can do to support our health and our self-care programs and help our bodies recover if we need to recover from anything. So I'm going to share some slides and then invite our guest Michele to share her technology stories. And so I'll start with the slides here. And this is a new show, so bear with me to get it shaped right. I think we've got it. So NIKKEN's philosophy is living a life in balance, and we believe we have a better way of living in this life. And it's very exciting. You see the three little circles if you're watching the video: people, planet, and profit. And so NIKKEN is all about building people. The first motto from the beginning has been humans being more. But by helping the individual and the family and the household, we build a better planet. And NIKKEN has developed an amazing lifestyle where if you share about the technologies, you can also have a home-based business that includes that profit part. So we help families in all those different ways, and I fell in love with that when I first experienced NIKKEN. Let me go on to my next slide. Oh, I've got to go past a number of slides. I forgot that. Got to get to number 20. That's all about the business. We have other live performances that share about the business side. So living a life in balance is based on creating your own NIKKEN wellness home for your family. And it's about active wellness. And I really fell in love with NIKKEN because I'd been studying natural health for over 20 years before I got involved with NIKKEN. And I was paying attention to lifestyle and nutrition. And NIKKEN had a whole new dimension. Oh, sorry, that went back. A whole new dimension of health, which was the natural energies of the earth. And they had figured out how to bring that into the wellness home. And what I learned when I was counseling families in the nutrition area is that there's a compounding effect of the everyday choices we make. And consistency over time with good, healthy attitudes make a radical difference in all areas of our life. And it can include our health, but also our income and our health with our family, our relationships, having energy and focus to be with our family, and helping with our income as well. If you're not productive and energetic in your career, you're going to have less success. And so these choices make the difference between being a human being more and a human under stress. And it's so true. When I was doing family counseling, I found 90% of the problems were about people not getting enough sleep, enough rest, good nutrition, getting outdoors into nature. And NIKKEN makes it possible to really have your home be a respite for natural health. Now, in the health field today, it's worse now than when I started NIKKEN because our stress levels are heavier ever since the big recession, and more people are living, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year kinds of lives. And I was just reading a book about the end of night, that we have a lot of stress because we're up late at night, we're under electric lights, A significant 1 out of 5 people have strange hours where they're working during the night, which messes up our hormones and creates more stress. And so stress has been identified as contributing to every major disease and all those conditions that reduce our quality of life. Sleep problems are huge, and I've always said that we seem to discover the importance of things for our health when we start to miss them. And this is true of water, it's true of sleep now. We're just discovering how important sleep is to our health. And we know that half of Americans report sleep problems of one kind or another. And one poor night's sleep, we now know, drops the immune system by 60 or even 70% that first day. And now they're saying at least a third of car accidents are due to exhaustion and poor attention because of sleep deprivation. And of course, air and water pollution are in the news every day. 7 million premature deaths annually are linked to World Health Organization, linked to air pollution. And we now know that indoor air can be worse than outdoor air, particularly because there are thousands and thousands of chemicals that are alien to the body that we bring into our homes that increase our toxic burden. And that's a physical stress as well as the mental stresses. And then water is a huge problem. Flint, Michigan made everybody aware of that. And many cities in the US are now saying that their lead levels are higher than they should be, as well as arsenic and endocrine disruptors and agricultural chemicals and even medicines from people upstream. Bottled water is not much better. It tastes a little better because they take the chlorine out, but it can have thousands of alien chemicals in it. So these are major health challenges that we have every day in our lives if we don't take an active part in our wellness. And of course, the biggest sufferers are our children. Many of them don't even get a good positive start. Over 200 known carcinogens are found in a typical infant newborn's body. And obesity rates are at the highest. A third of adults and children now are overweight. 1 out of every 5 adolescents is obese. And 30% of children 2 to 11 are overweight, and we know it's because of inadequate consumption of nutrients and stress. And in younger and younger children, we're seeing diseases that used to be considered for the elderly, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. We're now seeing them in very young people. So it's not just because us baby boomers are living longer. We are really destroying our health profile. Less than half of adolescents eat the needed amount of vegetables. Low-income families, of course, have it worse in every respect. And over 27.1% of high school children don't get the activity that's recommended. And of course, if they're overweight and underfed and exhausted, they don't feel like moving. It's not because they're lazy, it's because their health is affecting them. So what is the answer? It's about taking personal responsibility through self-care. Be healthy by choice, not by chance. The statistics aren't good, so you can't leave it to statistics. You need to take active role in your own self-care and health. And NIKKEN, thank goodness, makes it easy. Before I became a family counselor, I was a corporate lawyer, and so when I learned about NIKKEN, I looked at them as an international corporation, and they are a rare breed. They have a very strong mission, they're lean and ethical, and are recognized as a very, very well-respected international company around the world. It's also the only company in the world that has a comprehensive approach to preventive and alternative health care. And from the very beginning, their philosophy was this, the pursuit of balance in all 5 pillars of health: healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And when I left the big firm practice, I figured I'd given up on healthy finances. But with NIKKEN, you don't have to sacrifice any of those things. And one of the reasons I left the law firm was because I saw that the partners that were earning 6 or 7 figures were sacrificing their health and their family life for that big check, and it didn't make sense to me. So NIKKEN has the ability to give you what we call the NIKKEN Wellness Home, and that integrates all of the technologies that restore our bodies as natural as possible without going back and living in a forest on a mountainside. So NIKKEN started out with products that help with relaxation and sleep. And the first product ever was insoles, and then they developed a sleep system, and then they developed an amazing water purification and energizing system that actually makes your body respond better to the nutrition and the sleep and the relaxation. And then they've also done experiments and developed technologies in air and light, and a fantastic line of nutrition, organic based, and the finest on the market, in my opinion. So the Wellness Home creates an environment of well-being that inspires us to make healthier choices every day. It actually helps our body tell us the truth about what we really need. So NIKKEN's active wellness products include, it's easiest to think of them in 3 different categories. We have over 100 products, but they're basically in 3 categories: nutrition and skincare, environment, and rest and relaxation. And that original thing that I fell in love with is the rest and relaxation, the insoles, the seats. I'm sitting on one. I'm wearing one of our necklaces. I just took the mask off my face when I got out of bed. And of course, I sleep on a NIKKEN Nature Rest pad and in the comforter and the pillow. And we also have massage products. And then in the environment, we have water, the wonderful waterfall system that does everything that nature does to cleanse and energize water. And we have a shower system that does the same thing. And also you can see on the video the drinking bottle. So you can take PyMag NIKKEN water wherever you go, and you don't have to be polluting the oceans with plastic bottles every day. The nutrition line is eco-certified, based on organic herbs and the natural minerals from the sea. And our nutritional line, as I said, is unbelievable, especially our meal replacement powder called Kensen Vital Balance that actually helps re-educate the brain so that you don't crave those things that are bad for you, the refined carbohydrates in particular, and the bad fats. And also on the picture you see the jade greenzymes, which are the finest vegetable food on the planet, organically grown barley grass picked when the enzymes are most active. So now I'm going to stop the screen share and share some more about technologies. I knew a lot more about the natural technologies because when I was living in upstate New York in an old farmhouse, we had no basement, and so we were getting the direct magnetic energy of the earth all the time. And when friends came to visit, they were surprised they never got tired. And the other thing was that working as young lawyers, we devoted our time to help Indians and farmers fight the placement of an ultra-high voltage transmission line across the Indian land that was near us in upstate New York. And we heard the testimonies in the court cases about the effects of high voltage transmission lines, how it affected people that were living anywhere near. There was increase in infertility in the dairy cows and distorted calves, 2-headed calves, and strange DNA changes in the farming plants, 14-inch wide dandelions, and increased cancer rates the closer you got to these lines. So I was very aware of the importance of living things being in the natural magnetic field instead of always exposed to electric. Now, since I've been involved in NIKKEN, we now are surrounding ourselves with cell phone towers and microwave, and that's a whole nother set of disruptive energy fields. So having NIKKEN here to help us restore to more natural environment is truly amazing. So that's my story. Now I want to introduce our guest, Michele Kowalchuk, and she'll share how she got involved in NIKKEN and what the products and technologies mean to her. So welcome, Michele. Thank you so much speaking to us from her home in Canada.
Thank you. Thank you. I live in Dauphin, Manitoba, and that is a rural part of Manitoba, about 400 kilometers north of Winnipeg. So I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but we are quite north. Anyways, I was first introduced to NIKKEN about 17 and a half years ago through the products, and it was a product experience that caught my husband's attention. I was very sick. I was taking a lot of prescription drugs, a lot of over-counter drugs. As a matter of fact, I was overdosing on the over-counter drugs. I was taking up to 12 Tylenol in a 4-hour period, and the prescription drugs, just to cope with the discomfort. I could not find that relief. And what I was dealing with was a head discomfort that would come and go. I would get an aura that would give me a signal, okay, it's time to take some drugs. But it never really solved the problem. And I was on a search to solve the problem. And when NIKKEN came to me, it's amazing how when you ask for help and you're looking for help, and sometimes it's out of desperation, whether you realize it or not, it just falls in your lap. And that's exactly what happened with me. And as I was getting better through the product that was introduced to me, and it was a little magnetic necklace, something similar to what I'm wearing today, that was loaned to me, I could feel a little difference. And when I would take the necklace off, these sensations that I would feel would go away. I'd put the necklace on and I'd get the sensations again. And I really thought I was hallucinating on the drugs that I was taking. Didn't understand what was going on. But it was very quickly pointed out to me by my youngest daughter. And I'm saying within a week of using the necklace. And she said, "Mommy, are you going to buy that necklace?" She was 12 at the time. And I said, "You know, I'm thinking of it. I don't know." And I asked her why. And she said to me, "Because, Mommy, you're happy." That almost broke my heart. It did break my heart. Because then it was like a slap in the face, because I really had to look at where my life was and where it was headed. And it was at that point in time that I made the decision to invest in the necklace. And back then, it was an investment. Like it was not a cheap little necklace, right? Even though I didn't understand what was going on and how it was working, it was working. Within 3 months, I was completely drug-free, and I haven't looked back. So as we incorporated the products into our home and created the wellness home, I am a certified wellness home, we started noticing a difference with my son. And we were able to remove 2 inhalers within a week. He was off his EpiPen. He didn't have to carry his EpiPen for food sensitivities. And that was done within a month at least. We were able to completely reverse these sensitivities in 2 years. And it was just working with the products, incorporating different products, and building his immune system up. Sleep played a critical part. The water, for sure. Those were the first 2 products and a necklace we got on him for his breathing disorder. Just played such a huge part in the health and well-being. And another thing that what we did with my son that was a really big, powerful wow for us, he was extremely flat-footed. Like, he had no insole or no arch whatsoever, and this caused problems. He was very loose jointed. He didn't walk until he was 2.5 years old. And that was simply because he was walking over on the inside of his ankles, and he couldn't support his weight. He would walk on his knees until about 2.5. And it was at that time they were able to put him into an orthotic shoe that supported his ankles so that he could stand upright. I remember the day he took his first step. It just was so, I was so elated with joy that he was able to walk. Now, he still had the flat-footedness. When I was introduced to NIKKEN, he was about 14 at the time when we first started NIKKEN. We got insoles in his shoes. When he turned 16, his loose joints started to become stiff, and we were forewarned that be prepared for juvenile arthritis. So we took him back to the orthopedic surgeon that he had been seeing when he was younger, and he tested for his arch. And they do it through mirrors. Like, he stands on a clear glass box, and there was a mirror that the surgeon could see the amount of arch he had. He had him step on and off that box 3 times. And he said, "I cannot believe this. He has an arch. How did you do that?" And I showed him the insoles. I said, "This is the only difference that we've made." And what a huge difference. He no longer cried with aches and pains in his legs. He was out of the orthopedic support. He still needed support around the ankles, but he formed an arch. And that was just from the NIKKEN insoles. Now, don't you think that everything that we did just for him gave him a better quality of life? He went from not being able to touch a countertop where a carrot had touched, he'd go into an anaphylactic attack, to being able to pick carrots out of his salad. The carrots he's slightly sensitive to, but he's no longer going into anaphylactic attack, and he can actually touch the carrot. He can eat salads where he couldn't before. Huge, huge difference. And then the many other people that I have touched to help create a better quality of life for them, it has just been astounding. I absolutely love these products. I will never, ever, ever be without them. Having them on hand consistently 24/7 for prevention is phenomenal. Just recently, we helped our dog who had a falling tree fall across her hips, and she couldn't walk. She was dragging her hind leg. She was unable to walk, but through the technology, she was up and walking, and she's coming 13 years old. So, you know, having the products on hand to help not only my family, but others, it is so profound. It's so incredibly heartwarming. I will never be without these products. And I carry them everywhere I go. I've got a little pack that has a sample of everything, and I carry it so that if I'm out and about and somebody needs some help, I can slip a product on them right then and there.
That's wonderful, Michele. Yeah, I have the same thing. I have a little bag with everything in it. And I love what you said about you'd never be without it. I mean, it's not just to fix things. It's actually everybody needs this. All living things need what NIKKEN offers, the good water and the great magnetic field. And we can do miracles with people. I had absolutely no complaints when I started. And I thought, well, what if people don't know, like I do, how important all that natural energy is? And when I put these products on other people, they noticed immediately. They didn't need to know anything about nutrition or natural energy or electric pollution, they notice the difference right away. And that's such miracles in your family. It's just beautiful that we can offer these to people and have an open mind, so that you tried your necklace when you were using all these drugs and not being successful with that. You were willing to try something simple like a NIKKEN necklace. So that NIKKEN necklace has introduced a lot of people to the possibilities of this technology. So let's see, we have a couple more minutes. If you have another story or just want to share.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to share what Dr. Melanie Caldwell shared with us while we were in Salt Lake City this past weekend. She showed several slides, but one that really caught my attention was the one for children and the effects that Wi-Fi and EMFs have on children. From birth, from growing in mommy's tummy to birth, and then developing and growing as they grow up. And the list was dumbfounding. It was just so shocking. And she was saying that what she does in her practice is ensures that her patients that are open to it will be on the PIMAG water and a sleep system. Now, she's a pediatrician, so she's dealing with children. And she's done double-blind studies showing the effects of the product with children with neurological disorders, giving them a better quality of life. She says, but we have got the key for prevention. And having that sleep system and that water is critical to prevent, she truly believes, to prevent these diseases, because the products put the body into a state where it can heal and repair. And that's what we need to do when we sleep. And she said, without these products on us, we just are not sleeping properly. That's just the bottom line. And she's made those slides available to us, and they are extremely, extremely powerful.
Yeah, I have heard her speak, and my father was an infertility specialist, and he was all about nature and nutrition, and I wish he was still alive so he would know what NIKKEN's come up with the magnetics. But he was a big nature lover and always put his patients on nutrition, and had more success with people who had come from the Mayo Clinic and been injected and medicated and still not being successful. And yeah, it's all about prevention and getting mom and dad in healthy conditions. So for young families, this is such a gift. And thank you for sharing that particular story. And thanks again. Do you have some last minute words, Michele, for new people? And then I want a couple more.
Absolutely. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Randy, for inviting me. I'm very honored to be here. I love how you do this presentation. It's really, really awesome. What I would recommend is, when somebody approaches you with NIKKEN, take a look. Take a look, because maybe you are in a position where you're healthy right now, but my question to you, do you want to remain that way? Because the way society is right now, it is stacked against us. And if you want to live a quality life and a longer life, healthier, this is a must. This is definitely a must. If you're hurting somewhere, have a look, because it can make a huge difference. Are we here about curing? No, we definitely not. We can't make that medical claim. Nobody can. But we can help you to become stronger and healthier. And I think that's what life is all about.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. And you can hear Michele again tonight, right? She does a live presentation this evening, and that's at 8 o'clock Eastern. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. So thank you so much. I'm going to go back to my slides, I think. Here we go. So you've heard about some of these amazing products. And let's begin your new success story. As Michele said so well, the 5 pillars of health, NIKKEN can help in all those areas. So we invite you to discover it, live it, and share it. Become a customer. Just get on the products and you'll feel the difference. The quality of life improves no matter where you are. I didn't know I could feel better, but 20 years later, I have more energy than I did 20 years ago, and even then I could do anything I wanted. But when I climb a church tower, my legs don't hurt because I have the insoles in. And I remember touring Europe and my legs hurt, and that was when I was in my 20s. So you never know how good you can feel with NIKKEN. So then you can become a part-time entrepreneur. Yeah, right. Part-time entrepreneur or a full-time entrepreneur if you want to benefit by NIKKEN's amazing compensation plan. So please do consider this better way to a life of balance. And thank you again for joining us, and thank you all for being on. And Michele Kowalchuk, thank you for your wonderful stories. And I'll put this on my YouTube and see if we can get it other places as well. And I'm going to stop my recording now.